All right, welcome back. Another episode of the Rough Rigs podcast, joined by Super Sub, VJ.
I'm back.
Got the late call up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always down for a rough rig appearance.
Bit of Australia champion trophy squad about it. You know, we had, obviously Mitch is gone. He's on a plane, traveling the world.
The country.
That's part of the world.
Yeah.
Then we had Ravi lined up. He's got the COVID.
Yeah.
Didn't know it was still around.
Yeah,
but
I thought that.
Yeah.
I was stamped out.
But still kicking apparently. But so the late call up, VJ. Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Good to have you. A good time as well with the success of the Sri Lankans in that one day. It's one game, but it's...
I'm glad I'm on this week, not last week or the week before.
We'll touch on last week because there's a bit to unpack.
Yeah.
Obviously with the Australian Test performance over there. And then the one days, we'll talk about that. The Champions Trophy coming up. A little bit of footy. Footy's coming back. The trials are in full swing, so good to have that back. So we'll get stuck into it.
Yeah.
How's your week, VJ? Had a good weekend?
Yeah, I mean, always feels a little more empty without the Saturday cricket.
So no cricket for you this week?
Well, for me, I always have my Sunday LMS.
Right.
So that's, I guess, a normal cricketer's like, at least have a day is normal. But I mean, like I usually double it up with a two. But not having that two is a bit of a letdown. I mean, we have a bye, which Mitch is pretty sad about. A 2-week bye as well. Still played my 2020. We lost, but we're still in a good shot with finals. But yeah.
Umpiring duties for you?
I'm out of it because I umpired the first round of the bye. Got it out early.
Nice.
But yeah.
Your team doesn't have any issues trying to find players for the buys?
We do. That's why Mitch had to delay his... I didn't know he was delaying his flight for this. Otherwise, I would have been like, bro, I can try and rearrange some stuff and go do it. But that's why he's leaving today for Brisbane instead of last week.
Yeah, right.
So
he can come back and umpire?
So he could umpire last week.
Yeah, okay.
Because... as with any team, it's hard to... I mean, but the thing with club cricket, just quickly, is we pay, what, 330, 350? And so 350 times 11 times how much? 15 grades?
Yeah.
And they can't pay for some umpires?
Yeah, you'd think that there should be umpires.
So where is this money going?
Well, they don't pay the umpires enough, I think. So there's not enough umpires actually
past,
out there.
Past, I think, the top levels. There's not many umpires. So where's the money going? And that same sort of sentiment carries to like grassroots cricket. I mean, parents paying $350, $400 for their kids. Yeah. And then you wonder why people are moving from cricket to maybe a cheaper stuff like Auskicks. So. Yeah. Anyway, that's club cricket for you.
It all starts at the grassroots, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, where are you going to get the next Sammy Constas from if
there you go. Yeah.
The kids are having to pay?
That's it. He'll be playing soccer.
Yeah, playing soccer, doing anything, ballet or whatever.
Ballet? Yeah. There you go. Maybe that's what India needs to do to re-get their success.
Yeah, just
start looking at ballet.
Ballet, yeah. Lie on your feet.
Because the Test cricket and the Ranji Trophy is not working for them.
Yeah, so. I mean, well, look at the Lankan players couldn't use their feet against spin. Yeah.
There you go. We got our first win for a while.
That's good. Yeah.
So we've won 2 games all season. Nice. So nice to get that. Yeah. Very close game, 1-by-1 run. So right down to the wire. They needed 3 runs off the last or to win, 2 to draw. They got 1.
Did they go for the second?
They didn't. They ran.
Yeah, I was asking because I've seen that weird amount of times where, especially in club cricket, people then like to get out and they're
looking after the averages.
Yeah, especially on the last ball of an innings.
Yeah, very odd. Broke my finger though, so that wasn't good. I don't know if you can see it on the audio or the videos. You can't see it on audio, can you? But I was keeping towards the end of the innings, and I think my finger dug into the ground.
Oh, you jammed, yeah.
And then the ball came after it. And, no good. But apparently it broke it, and something to do with there might be a dislocation as well, but I think they fixed that up. But something to do with like there's a cartilage plate or something.
Yeah.
I fuck that or something.
Yeah.
So
I mean, this
anyway,
is stuff I probably
don't know.
should know.
Oh,
but
that's right up your alley, isn't it?
I didn't pay much attention when I was on my orthopedics term, and now that I'm doing psychiatry, I don't have to care at all about it.
But we move on.
Yeah.
We play again next week. Not meant to, but can't let the boys down.
Yeah.
Last week of the season, so
yeah, do it. Yeah, and then you got a whole off season too.
that's it.
Saying that you'll play for some 2020 as well.
Yeah,
anyway,
we'll play almost. So
yeah,
no recovery for me.
that's right. You got nine other
That's it.
fingers.
That's a left hand as well, so
Yeah.
you don't need it for anything
Yeah.
really. A couple of things, but anyway. We'll move on. We'll get on to our drink of the week. Now, very exciting news. This was a Rough Rigs exclusive last week.
Yeah.
The Biscoff shake at Macca's. Now, we broke the story. We had the exclusive news. Exclusive.
Did Ronald?
Ronald. Secret source.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's here. It's arrived.
Yeah.
There's a Biscoff McFlurry.
Yeah.
They've got I think a coffee frappe.
Yeah.
And obviously just a normal Biscoff shake as well. So
Right.
we'll get stuck into it. It did start off a shake. It looks a bit melted, but we'll get into it, see how it goes. I reckon it's got to be better than the Hungry Jack's. Initial impressions, first of all, I like the cup better than Hungry Jack's.
Yeah. It's not quite Grimace level packaging.
Not quite. Well, they've got the new tumbler. I don't know if you've seen the Grimace tumbler. I've got a Grimace tumbler for Valentine's Day. So anyone out there for a last minute Valentine's Day present, Grimace tumbler. There you go.
Cheers.
I like that.
I back that.
I like it.
I like it. It beats the Grimace shake for me.
Yeah. I wasn't a big fan of the Grimace shake actually. I wasn't for me that one.
I mean, yet you still bought the Grimace.
I love Grimace.
You still bought the Grimace outfit.
Grimace is great. I love
Yeah.
him. But shakes probably not quite his best work.
It's all the packaging. Like I remember that commenter who was upset she didn't get the packaging. Yeah. So it shows how much it was about the packaging.
Yeah, I really rate that.
Yeah, that was good.
9 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, you should put a comment on the page. Just be like, I just love the shake. They don't get enough nice comments.
They don't. There's not many. No, that's better than Hungry Jack's. The thing with Hungry Jack's is they're too thick for the straws. Worked okay when they were plastic straws.
Yeah.
With paper straws, the Biscoff pieces got stuck in the straw, and then the straw was... It just didn't work.
Yeah, I mean, this paper straws.
It was a
trend,
logistical nightmare to try and get any shake out of it. So
I'm sorry, the paper straw trend is probably one of the worst inventions of this.
Well, Trumpy, he's a fan of the show. Big fan of the show, Trumpy.
Yeah. Well,
watches every week. He's an avid
on my
listener.
last appearance, I thought you were dead, but I mean,
No, he's good. He's good, big Trumpy.
Yeah.
He's banned them. Not ban the plastic straws, ban the paper straws.
Yeah.
So
Look, I'm all for the environment. I want to see
hates turtles.
Yeah, but it's at a price. Like, I mean, do I love the environment enough to sacrifice my fast food drinks?
Yeah.
No.
No.
No. Sorry.
I'm happy to make sacrifice as long as it doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
Just want a quick mention here. Now, Mitch isn't here for this, but we have very exciting news at the Rough Rigs podcast. Now, we've got our first sponsor.
All right.
So sponsoring our Drink of the Week segment is none other than the Inclusion Crew.
Okay.
So what they do, they're a disability support service. So anything, if you've got a disability, if you know anyone with a disability, any services ranging from, 24/7 support, full-time kind of stuff, or, just like a weekly thing for a couple of hours, help with the shopping, help with housework around the house, cleaning, all that kind of stuff. They do it all. Great people behind it. So yeah, if you're interested, if you're looking for some disability support, or you know anyone that might be keen, reach out. The Inclusion Crew. See their website, theinclusioncrew.com.au. So
it's amazing. Yeah.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, it's That's a great cause. Great to be on the show.
That's it. Great to have you on board the inclusion crew. Anyway, let's move on to the cricket.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, it's been rough. It's been rough for the Sri Lankans.
Yeah, very unexpected
in the Test series.
Yeah.
I thought Sri Lanka would put up quite a fight. I thought they'd win. To be honest, I thought they'd win 2-0.
I was thinking 2-0.
Yeah.
I think looking back, I think what happened partly was this was supposed to be the series where Sri Lanka was playing to get into the World Championship final. If they had got a result in South Africa, or if Australia India didn't become as lopsided scoreline wise as it did, this was supposed to be the series they could have made it.
Yeah.
And it happened that they found out a little bit before the series that it wasn't counting for that. Maybe that motivation goes down as a result. Australia has the motivation of really trying to crack that frontier of Sri Lanka.
Yep.
So you've got maybe that motivation issue because it all seemed a bit flat at times. I think even when Australia were putting up partnerships, you've got the Sri Lankan captain Dhananjaya just sort of laughing and chilling, and then they're sort of setting deep fields, and it didn't feel to me like an urgent thing.
It was quite negative, I thought as well. Like some of the bowling, especially to Smith, like going
very
around the
quickly
wicket.
They went around the wicket, ambling in Pralas Jasiria. It just didn't really. It's quite a disappointing performance, I think. I mean, especially even if it doesn't count for the championship final, you're only playing. Sri Lanka doesn't play many tests due to like the financial sort of. It's not profitable. So when you get tests like this, you have to really like put a stand. And especially, I see Sia floating this idea of a two-tier system, and you're not getting results. You're leaving yourself open to that. So. Very disappointed.
I'll tell you what, though, it was a nice change for me coming off that India Test series where it was so intense. Like, you know, you're watching every ball, edge of your seat kind of thing. Like, you're shitting yourself.
Yeah.
As an Australian, Boomer's charging in. It's a tough watch.
Yeah.
You're watching and you're enjoying it, but it's stressful.
Yeah.
So it was nice to just kind of get home from work, put the feet up, watch Smith.
Yeah.
Watch Aussie just score 200.
Yeah, a very laid-backish kind of thing.
It was good.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want it every time, but I think just after the summer that we've had, where it's been so intense for 5 test matches, and it's been great. One of the best test matches that I can, or test series that I can remember.
Yeah.
But it was very nice to just kind of, sit back and watch the boys just fucking dominate.
It would have been great to be there, really. I mean, like, Sri Lanka's a beautiful place to watch cricket, a relaxing place to watch cricket.
It would be, seeing all the people up on the fort watching and...
It's not that vibe of like the MCG where everything is happening, it's packed. But
it is very laid back kind of...
Yeah, you've got the trumpets, the band playing, and
a lot of sirens, horns.
Yeah, they get a band at a band in pretty much every game as well.
Yeah.
I've been to one day last year against
at
India.
Goal?
Colombo. That was Colombo.
Right.
I think Goal would be even more because more beachy, laid back thing. So
because that would be like their most kind of common ground they use. Like
Goal seems to be. I think Colombo are probably the biggest stadiums.
Yeah.
Goal seems to be where they've been playing Test cricket, which and a lot of
because it's very odd to have like 2 Test matches both at the same
thing.
venue.
I think it was just logistical.
Yeah.
But you see how well they played Colombo. I think they probably would have done better at Colombo. Just the pitch has a bit of everything. They have some good pace bowlers when there's stuff happening.
Yeah.
So just having this slow, lifeless wicket doesn't really do it much for Sri Lanka, I think.
Yeah.
So, but it seems like, I think when South Asian countries play on Australia or England, they just think, okay, we'll make a rank
I was going to
turner.
say that, like, do you think that they put the turning pitch on because they were playing Australia, or was it to benefit them?
I think it's
to hinder the opposition.
I think it's partly just it's just the automatic thing, and it's sometimes you saw what happened India versus New Zealand.
Yeah.
You have a turning wicket.
Yeah.
You make all spinners sort of equal in a way. If you have your spinning advantage, that goes when it's a turning wicket. So Australia's spinners are good.
Joe Root played over there. He got like 6 wickets or something.
That's the thing. Like it just negates the advantage. Saying that Australia's spinners bowled beautifully. Like bold or like.
well, let's get into that. Let's get into that because there's been some news about Kuhnemann.
Yeah.
He's
Very
a chucker.
interesting.
He's a
Very
chucker.
interesting. I got to say,
I find it funny coming from Sri Lanka of all places.
That's what I look at all the comments are. But I mean, the thing is, I guess it doesn't really have anything to do with Sri Lanka. I don't.
No.
To my knowledge, Sri Lanka didn't complain. It's just the match
It
official.
was a decision by a match official. I don't know which one it is, but
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's Joel Wilson because he hates Australia.
Yeah,
so
just can't see in general. I think the problem with Joel Wilson, he's a fair umpire. It's just he's not very good. But yeah, I mean,
I don't think he's biased towards one team. He's
like,
just incompetent.
But he can't get rid of him because I think
I don't know how is he still getting a gig?
because
Like,
because he's the West Indian representative on the panel, and I don't think there's many other West Indies like top level umpires. So
they need to have one.
they don't need to, but I think they want to.
He's like the token West Indian.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's hard to get
Because
rid of him.
every game Australia plays, like Joel Wilson's umpiring. And
Yeah. But I think the thing with Joel Wilson, though, is that DRS hasn't been kind to him because I think pre-DRS, people would be like, oh, okay, a lot of his decisions are not too bad, but with replay, they look bad.
Yeah.
Like with the Lion Stokes, that LBW in the Headingley.
Yeah.
If that's live on park cricket and club cricket, you'd be like, fair enough. He's coming around the wicket, sliding it in. Okay. Look at DRS and it's hitting middle and leg, and then you're like, okay, that's terrible. So, but anyway, I mean, Kuhnemann, I didn't see long spells from him, I got to admit. Like, I was here and there watching the match, partly because Sri Lanka were getting, like, hammered. Looking now, I've looked at a couple of these slow-mos.
Yeah.
There is possibly a bit of a jink at times.
I thought so. I mentioned it on our last episode. I was watching it. And it's a little bit chucky. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It's not straight.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. Like Cricket Australia's come out and they've kind of like really defended him. They've said, he's played 8 seasons or whatever it was, a Big Bash. He's done Indian tours, and he's never been picked up on it. So basically, they're right behind him, which is good to see.
Yeah.
The Cricket Australia board getting around their players, but
I think
it looks a bit suspect to me.
it'll be interesting to see this. The testing. The testing is very rigorous.
Yeah.
It's not just you can just like go and ease up in your action and then pass it. I think you have to replicate the balls you bowl in match with the same level of pace and spin and everything.
It'd be hard to do, because that's what happened to Chris Green, right? Like he bowled differently in the
thing. And then I think he got a small ban. But he's fine now because 2020 comps, they don't care about it. It's why Sunil Narayan, haven't seen him play for West Indies due to not wanting to.
Yeah.
The reason is because he knows if he plays international, he's in trouble. So Kuhnemann probably has gone under the radar until he plays in a big test series like this. So, I mean, a lot of people are sort of comparing it to Bumrah and everything, which isn't really. I mean, it's completely different with Bumrah. I mean,
Bumrah.
that's just I have to admit, I looked at when I was first watching Bumrah, I was like, oh, what's going on here? But when you see the sort of flex at the end, it's weird, but it's
almost like a backwards chuck. Like
but it's legal because he's coming. But we'll see what happens to Kuhnemann. I mean, it'd be sad if I think mentally this will be tough for him. Yeah, because
I think there's one. I think it's arm ball in particular.
Yeah,
that it looks a bit dodgy. I think his normal off breaks are okay. I think he'll get around that. But the one that goes, I think the straight on. Yeah,
he has almost goes the other way. Yeah, mentally I think this will be tough for him. But I guess the good thing is he's got a good break between another series he'll play in Australia, which will only be the India tour.
Yeah. Well, he wouldn't play anywhere outside of Asia.
Yeah.
Where does that sit him? Like, just let's say everything goes well with the whole chucking thing.
Yeah.
Where does he sit in the Australian pecking order then in terms of spinners? Like,
it's a weird thing.
Is he behind Lyon?
Yeah, well,
because Murphy was kind of the one to take over.
Yeah, it's a weird where because you got Lyon bowling offies.
Yeah.
And Kuhnemann's probably 3, but Kuhnemann becomes 2 because you want the 2 different
ones. The
ones.
diversity,
And that was the thinking, but he did so well against Sri Lanka that he probably goes to 2.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays, people love the left-armers because, I guess, statistically you have more right-handers. So you have someone turning it away.
Yeah.
So he's probably ahead of Murphy in that aspect.
Yeah.
I think Murphy is probably the better bowler.
Yeah.
In Australian conditions, like just
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
better like drift spin, but in
When you're not playing on dust
turners,
bowls.
in dust bowls, I think having that guy to really fizz it in like
Yeah.
that, whether he's fizzing it in so much because he's chucking, I don't know, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. Australia's got plenty of time. Lions doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
He'll play, I reckon, until at least the next Ashes, like away Ashes series.
Yeah.
He's kind of come out a few times and said that he wants to win over there. Obviously, the last time he was over there, he did his, was it quad or calf?
Yeah.
Did his calf. And he's come out a couple of times and said, like, they didn't beat me in that series. Like, played two tests and we won both. So he's got unfinished business there. I can see him probably retiring at the end of the next away Ashes.
Yeah.
Which is, another 3 years?
He doesn't get surely he wants the SCG. Every man and his dog wants this SCG farewell.
Yeah.
like it's becoming like a procession. So,
I guess it just depends
How it lines up.
how he's feeling after that, whether
Yeah.
there's another big tour after that in Australia.
yeah.
I don't know. Does he want to retire in Australia against, like a West Indies or something, or he'd want
Yeah.
that big tour to finish on? I don't know. But he's climbing up the ranks with his wickets.
Yeah.
Nathan Lyon,
I've got to admit,
Over
like,
at 550?
I was thinking that he after that he sort of dipped a little bit, and I was thinking, okay, he's lost a bit of that sort of revs and everything.
Well, he
but
barely
he's
bowled in the Test series
Yeah.
against India. Like,
but he showed in Sri Lanka that he still got it.
Yeah.
He's got unlike Kuhnemann, he's got a beautifully replicable like action that doesn't need that much strain on the body, and he can play for a long time.
he just perfects
really.
that. He's got one ball, but he perfects. I'll tell you what, though, he does have that one that goes the other way a couple of times. I've seen. Never bowls it in Australia, but over in Sri Lanka, I've seen it a couple of times.
What do they call it, Jeff?
The Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, the way he sets up his bowling, if he wants to, he could play 45, 45, 46 years old, like Brad Hogg did.
And I think the injury that he had is probably the best thing for him, because it kind of gave him that little bit of time away from cricket, where he got the chance to see what it was like if he gave it away.
Yeah.
And I think he really wanted to be back, and he still had that drive and that hunger. If he didn't have that, maybe he wouldn't have as much of that hunger.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I can't see him retiring anytime soon. He's just I think he'll end up probably third in the all-time.
Yeah.
Third or fourth.
Yeah, you go like
he'd be
Murali
fourth,
Line, maybe.
Anderson's there now.
gonna,
Yeah.
I mean, Mitch, I've had this conversation with him many times. The Lion versus Warren. For me, there's no, like, Lion could take 800, 900. Warren will always be there.
Warren's number one for sure. I think Warren's better than... Actually, I'd like to get your thoughts on this, being Sri Lanka, but I think Warren's well and truly above Murali.
I've had this sort of, not argument, but discussion with like other Lankans, and I always feel like Warren is my favourite because, I mean, Murali's a wonderful bowler, but in those big, massive moments, to take it on and like, I think for me, that 99 World Cup, from nowhere to win that semi-final against South Africa, to just stand up and be like, I'm doing this. I can't really think of Murali doing that in that massive moment. For me, I think if Murali had done that in the 2011 World Cup final against India, to be fair, there was like dew on the ball. That was a moment. I think if Warren was like in that position, they defend a 270. So, and that's the difference. To me. That aura presence, which is more than Lion, and that's why.
The amount of wickets that he took in Australia as well, like bowling leg spin in Australia is not easy. Like no one else has really come to Australia. Any real spinner, overseas spinner, no matter how good or bad they are, kind of dominated like he has. So even Lion, in Australia, like as I said, in the last series, he barely bowled. He didn't really have much impact.
It's that
he's still quite good. Like in Australia, he's probably our second best spinner. I would say
he does
in
the job.
Conditions.
Every innings he'll do the job.
Yeah.
But are you scared of Lyon taking 7 or 8
Yeah.
wickets and completely running through
Yeah.
your team? Like, say that famous Adelaide test in 07, where Warren just single-handedly won a match. I can't see. Lyon would very rarely have done that. So, but that's still, I mean, nothing to take away from Lyon. He's probably the best off spinner Australia has ever had. Yeah,
I'd say so.
Who else?
Yeah.
There's a few I'm trying to think of like 1930s bowls, but like Bill O'Reilly was leggy, Grimmett was leggy, and there's not really
A lot of leggies, yeah.
Yeah, so I think Lyon's
Tim
probably the
May.
best. Yeah, Tim May. Tim May. Lyon versus Tim May. Big debate. Stay tuned next week.
What do you think of Cooper Connolly? Because obviously made his debut batting at number 8.
Very strange.
It was very strange. Look, he hasn't taken a first-class wicket yet.
Yeah.
I feel like they picked him more as a batter than a bowler, given how they used him.
Yeah.
But then they picked him at 8, and I don't know.
You know what?
They bowled Travis Head more than him.
You know what it seems like? It's like when you're at the casino, everything is hitting for you.
Yeah.
Like red, green, everything, red, black, everything. And you're like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to just go big on 12. Because everything is hitting. Yeah, everything is hitting for me. That's the selectors basically.
George Bailey was just up there feeling lucky. He's like, let's just throw in Connolly. It's going to work.
All these things. Always Bo Webster at the perfect time. Everything is hitting for me.
Yeah.
You know what? Connolly at 8. Let's do it. And it didn't work. But I mean, on another day, the way he came out, he was coming to be aggressive. It could have worked.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ready.
I didn't have an issue with his dismissal, to be honest, just given the state of the game. Australia was well in front. He was trying to move it along.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to judge him off that. But just to judge, I just don't understand the selection in the first place.
He should have. If you're going to play him, it should be top 6, and then as an extra, his bowling is not good enough to be 8.
He should have either bowled. We should have bowled more, given that he was selected as a number 8. But then also the way he bowled, he probably didn't deserve to bowl more. So Travis Head,
I think they
Travis
misread
Head
the
was
pitch,
a better bowler.
They misread that. I mean, it didn't matter in the end, but I think they thought there would be a complete dust bowl where you don't need that many bowlers.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to be the average score will be 130, 140.
Yeah.
So then you want that number 8 who can bat. I think that was the main thing.
Yeah, I think so.
But I think
because it didn't it spun obviously from kind of day one, but it wasn't a rank turner that we've seen, over in India or the last tour of Sri Lanka, where it's just turning square.
Sri Lanka usually doesn't do that.
Sharp
on the first
spin.
Day. I don't think they have. I don't think that the pitches aren't set up to do that. You can't unless you do a full Pakistan and go get the lead. What are they doing? The warmers and stuff.
The heaters.
Yeah, unless you do that, they're not gonna make a rank turner. And it's funny what happened to Pakistan. They lost anyway to West Indies.
Yeah.
So,
did anyone impress you from Sri Lanka?
Not enough. Chandamal has really come back well.
Yeah.
There was a period he came onto the scene as this young guy scoring good runs in all the formats, and it was supposed to be the next Jai Ward, and I really scored thousands and thousands of runs. Then he dipped for a while, got dropped. Captaincy didn't do well for him, but it's good to see him back now.
Yeah.
No longer keeping number 3, really leading from the front, top order and scoring runs. So I think he had a good series. Wasn't able to make that big 100 which they needed, but that's the nature of the pitches, I think, as well. He had a couple of unlucky dismissals.
Yeah.
Kusal Mendes, I was happy with. Again, didn't get the
There's
chance
a lot of
to go
Mendeses.
big. Yeah, it's hard to Kamindu Mendes, Kusal Mendes, both K Mendes.
What's the good one?
Kamindu's the one who's started.
The new one that's kind of come onto the scene, and he's
which
been
was
good.
Kusal Mendes.
Right.
Kusal Mendes came onto the scene against Australia, where he scored I think 180.
Yeah.
And they won that series based on that innings. After that, it's had a very up and down career, times of form and times of bad form. But now he's found a role as a keeper batsman.
Yeah.
So he's always been a part-time keeper, but now he's their keeper batsman. Keeping was mostly okay. There was a few in the first test.
I thought his glove work was decent.
Dropped Khawaja in the first match, first test. I mean, overall was okay. Scored some good runs in the second test. 85 not out and 50. But but I guess then you're thinking if he wasn't keeping and batting 4 or 5, he could have maybe gone on. So they had a few decent guys who performed decently, but I'm very disappointed with the spinners. Prabhat Jasuria sort of, like, if you look at his stats, looks okay because he took wickets, but a lot of them were like when the damage was already done, he cleans up the tail or cleans up guys when it was like 3 for 400. So, I mean, I think it was a big disappointment. The guy is supposed to lead the attack and didn't really like bowl with much urgency, much planning. I think that was a disappointment.
See their pace bowler?
He's the left-arm spinner, Jasuria.
Right.
Both pace bowlers were disappointing on flat wickets, to be fair. First match they went with Azitha Fernando, who you saw in yesterday's one-dayer, is pretty lethal with a new ball and a seaming wicket. He wrapped up the top order. Didn't see that at all in the first match. Maybe it's the conditions. Maybe he just didn't find his length. And then they dropped him, brought Kumara, who used to bowl 150 up until I think a year ago, and now he's bowling 130. And I don't know how that's dropped so quickly. I think some injuries. Sri Lanka's really managed their fast bowlers badly with injuries.
Yeah,
we had 5 or 6 guys bowling 140 plus, 145 plus, and now we're like not.
Because you always used to back in the day. You always had.
Yeah, I mean, well, there was a period. I think back in the day when like Malinga there was that Vas and Malinga sort of era, but they didn't have the big crop. Now there was a big crop.
But Malinga didn't play much Test cricket.
Yeah, so he got injured.
Yeah.
So I think there's like some conditioning problem. Like Chamira, there's a guys who've been injured. So it's disappointing to not have that quick where Australia's quicks did well.
Yeah.
So if Sri Lanka's quicks had done something.
Well, Stark was, he added a lot.
Yeah.
When he did come on to bowl, with the new ball and then later on with the reverse swing, he just had that extra bit of pace. Whereas the Sri Lankan bowlers, like the fast bowlers, they opened the bowling and it was kind of, you got 2 overs and it wasn't great. And then that was kind of it.
Yeah.
You didn't see him again. So.
Yeah, it's disappointing. Like you hear on the commentary, I think Greg Blewett was saying, if only Sri Lanka's bowlers had a bit of extra pace, 145, and I'm thinking, well, this guy had it. He was bowling 150, and there were guys on the bench who were bowling like quick, and now they're all gone. So that's
the problem that I have with the Sri Lankans is they just have very difficult names to say, and I find that very...
Many names as well.
It's a lot, and they're all the same name. And I'm like, I can't tell them apart. Like,
there's a Malinga who played yesterday, Ashan Malinga.
Like, I don't know which one's good because I can't remember which one. They're just all letters and names. And Jeff is good. I remember his name.
Jeff Anderson.
I thought he was actually one of the better players in the first test, and he got dropped. So
yeah, I mean, I've met him.
You met him. Brush with fame.
Yeah, like because my. One of my dad's friends, he knows the one of the chief selectors or someone. So he got us onto the pitch at Premadasa in Colombo. Meet all the players, and I talked a bit to Jeffrey Van der Say. I was saying, I'm leggy. What do you reckon about, like, I'm just trying to, like, get confidence in my googly. And he's like, yeah, go for it. I get smashed in the nets all the time.
That's what you want to hear.
Yeah. So since then, I mean, like, he's been in and out of the team. And it's weird because there's so many times he's been in the team when he probably on form didn't deserve to be, but just on potential. Here, he actually did well in the first match.
Scored some nice runs.
Yeah, took 3 wickets, batted well, and he got dropped. So it doesn't make sense. He got dropped. So they played 2 off spinners.
Yeah.
And a left arm spinner, finger spinner. You could have played your leggy.
Yeah.
Who got Smith out. So that was a bit disappointing. The only justification I could have is he does leak runs, like any leggy does. But you need wickets.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean,
they lack that. They didn't look like they were trying to take wickets like all series. They were just so defensive.
Yeah.
They just were trying to kind of stop the runs rather than. So I feel like
I think that's a captaincy thing as well. I think Dhananjaya.
And does he have any say in the team selection?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
I know some countries, like the captain's almost like their
in Sri Lanka,
selector.
Politicians have a say as well.
Oh, do they?
The sports minister usually has some kind of say.
Imagine if we had that here, just like elbows, like, no. Actually, I want Billy Stanlake to play today.
Sure. And then Andrew McDonald would say, yeah, sure. I think Dhananjaya, he's frustrating with the bat as well, just not that, like, application to score runs.
Yeah.
If you look at Sri Lanka in the past, they've had like strong captains like Rangatunga.
Yeah. He was fat though, so,
true. So maybe they need that big, fat, like aggressive captain somewhere. So anyway, by the time Sri Lanka play Australia next, maybe they'll have that. Get someone to put on the kilos. Like Hasaranga is putting on the kilos.
You reckon he's gunning for a captaincy spot?
He is awful in the World Cup 2020. He was terrible captain. So hopefully not.
that was when he wasn't fat though. So,
True. So
the rough rig in him.
Maybe
is,
maybe that's the rough rigs captaincy across the world. Like get Raheem. Yeah.
Give him the captain of the world. Give him the presidency.
Yeah.
Sorry, Trumpy. I know you're a big fan, but Raheem, he's got you covered.
Raheem's gone well.
Let's move on to some happier news for you.
Yeah.
The one-dayers that started. First one has already happened.
Yeah.
Second one might be happening as you're watching this. Might not be. You never know.
Yeah.
But could be.
Bit of joy. Yeah.
1-0 up.
Yeah, I think this is another frustrating thing with Sri Lanka cricket because they're hitting their stride in one-day cricket. It's actually a very balanced team.
Yeah.
They've worked it out at home especially. But because of what went down in the World Cup and a bit of the Bangladeshi cheating, like bad sportsmanship, whatever, the time down.
Timed out for Angelo Matthews.
Because of that, they're not in this Champions Trophy, which I think if they were...
They haven't made it, have they?
Yeah, because it's the top 8 teams Sunday.
Ah, right.
Well, what's the point of having an 8-team?
What's the World Cup? 10 teams. So like,
you might as well just have the 10 teams back.
Yeah.
I mean, you're losing Sri Lanka, you're losing West Indies. You would have provided some good matches.
Yeah.
It would have been good to see Sri Lanka there. I think they could have done something, but now that they're not there, there's a pretty pointless series for them.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be Australia.
I'm surprised they organised the one-dayers because ultimately they're like a warm-up for the Champions Trophy. The fact that they're not in it is...
It helps Australia, strange. Plus this is where they get their money from this tour because people actually go. I think Sri Lanka struggles with Test cricket crowds. To be fair, I mean, like, it's hard to get people out during the day.
Yeah.
To Test cricket
during weekdays
to anywhere other than, I guess, Australia's lucky because they play there during this sort of Christmas break.
Yeah.
If you played Test cricket in Australia in March, you'd have the same thing.
Yeah,
like you'd have 10k people max. So, I mean, good win. Following the same sort of pattern they have been in the last couple of years. This is how they beat India at home. Just put some runs on the board. Pitch breaks up. They've got some good spinners. So, there's a few guys in this one-day side who I want to see in the Test side. Will Allegay. He's a good left-arm spinner, and bats well too. He scored a 30. Good technique. He could easily have slotted instead of like Ramesh Mendes. So there's a few guys who maybe on the back of this.
There's too many Mendeses for my liking.
Yeah, true. There's 3 Mendeses.
You've got to get rid of at least one of them.
Yeah, in this point I've already talked about.
You can't be having 3.
Yeah, that's the thing. And the guy who got 120, Aslanka, he could play in the Test side, and he's a good captain as well.
Ooh.
So
has he got a rough rig on him?
Reasonably, he's like stocky.
He's got to work on it.
Yeah, he could work on it, but he could get rougher. But
okay, one to watch for.
So some good cricketers there. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they win 2-0.
Yeah.
It's just 2 matches, I think.
Yeah. It was strange. Well, it was only originally 1 match, I think, and then they bumped it up to 2.
It seems like a weakened Australian team, especially. I mean, selection as well. There's players who should be there who aren't. I think.
I don't know how Cooper Connolly, not Cooper Connolly. I don't know how he gets it wrong, but Fraser McGurk.
I'm a bit off him.
I kind of I don't rate him at all, to be honest. But if it was a T20, I kind of understand the selection. I don't understand it at all in a one day. Like
fundamentally, there's a lot wrong with his batting. Yeah. He's playing across the line.
He's
things
just
which won't work across. I think
there's so much time in a one day game to build an innings, and he just doesn't. It'll come off once every 15 matches, and it
looks amazing. It's like the BBL. He scored 198 or something, and the rest was nothing. I wouldn't mind seeing opening partnership of Khawaja Constas.
Yeah,
I want to see Bo Webster in the team as well. Yeah. So as in, if Constas is good enough to play Test cricket, he should be good enough to play one day. Today he scored 110.
What do you think of Marnus?
Marnus, I mean, I think he still should get a run in Test cricket. One day, I think it might be time to slowly phase him out. But in that World Cup final, he came big.
Yeah.
But there's only, I think, specific situations like that World Cup final where
You lose a couple early.
yeah, and he needed to sort of anchor. I don't think in most situations he's able to turn the strike fluently enough to play consistent one-day cricket.
Yeah.
I'd rather see a Constance in that position, like with those shots to accelerate.
I'm really surprised they sent him home to play Shield cricket. Like, I understand in terms of his Test development, all of that, but I thought there was a real opportunity to keep him around the one-day side, and just preparation for that Champions Trophy. Like, he's obviously shown it in the Test arena, in the Big Bash, that he's got the big shots, he's got that attacking game.
Yeah.
I don't think he should be, sought as just like a Test specialist, because I don't think that he's definitely got more than that in him. And I think it'll actually help his Test game playing these one day and being able to build an innings that way as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially, I mean, I'm turned by what I saw today. I was watching a bit of it, following a bit of scores against a good Queensland attack and scoring 110 by himself, off 90 balls. Like that, like if he plays like that, I mean, he could be a long-term 3-format player.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got a bit of David Warner about him, like the way he plays, that aggressive opener at the top of the order. But
I think maybe
hopefully a better bloke.
Maybe thinking of David Warner is what they're thinking, because like David Warner, he blasted on the scene against South Africa. Then they put him in the one days and he struggled a bit.
Yeah.
So maybe they think just
because
ease him into
it took him
format.
a few years to kind of get the one day cricket.
Yeah, it was weird. Like he was scoring in other
his Test
formats,
cricket was
but
fine, T20 was fine, but he struggled in one
so
days
maybe
for a
just
while.
not to clog his mind and just playing different formats like that.
Yeah, maybe they want him to solely focus with the World Test Championship coming up and the Ashes next year. They want him to really just focus on Test cricket for now, and then maybe after that they might start getting into the one day game with him.
Yeah.
But anyway, England, they're playing as well. Now they've lost. They had like 9 games over in India in one day as in T20s.
Yeah.
They lost 8 of them. Got pumped in probably 8 of them.
Yeah.
And they're not happy. They're not happy, the English people. Bazball is no more.
Yeah.
They're not happy with Bazball.
Yeah, the writing should have been on the wall when at the start Brendan McCullum in an interview said, "Oh, we don't mind if we win or lose, and just want to try out something." As soon as you hear that, it should have been, in hindsight, that should have been bet of the week every week.
Yeah.
Should have been against England. But I think watch out for them in the Champions Trophy. I don't think they took this seriously. KP has put out a tweet saying...
KP's not happy.
Yeah, he's as KP usually does, something that could be said in one sentence. I don't think they tried hard enough. They should have had more of a training. That could have been said in one sentence, but he's gone and written a whole essay. But so I won't read all that out. But he's flabbergasted or something.
Flabbergasted.
Something to those lines of them should have been more professional in training, which again is quite ironic from KP. But like saying that, KP did train hard. I think he worked hard on his game. Obviously, like stuff like
his teammates
talking about your captain to the South African team in unsavory terms. That's another thing.
Yeah.
But he does have a point here. They should have probably trained a bit harder. But I think maybe the way England has looked at it, they've got a long Champions Trophy, which is what we're actually here for.
Yeah.
This is just the money grab at the start, basically, just to get BCCI want you to play, you play.
Yeah.
So they don't care about this series. They want to win this Champions Trophy. So they're just like mucking around a bit here. I think watch out for them in the Champions Trophy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they win the whole thing.
Let's go on the Champions Trophy.
Yeah.
Australia, obviously their squad has been decimated. We've got no bowlers.
Yeah.
Stark's gone home for personal reasons. I think it kind of shows where they're at. If this was a game that they cared about, I don't think Stark's going home for personal reasons. I don't know what's going on. It might be something serious, but I don't know. It just seems all like, no, we don't really care. It's just a Champions Trophy, which is like, honestly, I'm the same. Like, I'm not really looking forward to it. I'm not excited. It's never
had that
interest
sort of
me.
appeal from when it started was like 1997 or something.
Yeah.
It's never really been.
It's just it's a Timu World Cup for mine.
Yeah. Like I could tell you every World Cup from 1975. But I can't tell you that many Champions trophies. I remember the one West Indies won against England. That's the one in 2004. I remember that one.
Yeah.
But there's a few other ones just wedged in there. Oh, the Pakistan against India one. Yeah. There's a few there that's been memorable, but generally it's not. It seems like an unnecessary thing.
Because it stopped for a while and now they brought it back again, haven't they?
Yeah, it was a bit out of sync, I think, with the other, because it's supposed to be when there's no 2020 World Cup.
Yeah.
One day before the 2020 World Cup, there was like, okay, there's World Cup one day and there's Champions. Yeah. There was two big ones, big-ish ones with the Champions Trophy. But now with the 2020 World Cup, do you need this? And
the World Cup, the 2020 World Cup's every 2 years. It's not even every 4 years, which is just like, I don't know. It's too much.
What I want is what the Test Championship has is just get rid of this Champions Trophy. Yeah. Make the same thing except with like the World Test Championship with the one day. Yeah. And it will be better than the Test Championship because everyone actually plays each other in one day cricket. Yeah. So you'll actually get a proper, like this Test Championship is a bit of a joke at times because half the teams haven't played each other.
And it'll give one day cricket a lot more meaning as well.
And then you don't have these bilateral series where people are just like, what does it actually matter for? Like the Pakistan-Australia one where Australia sort of sent some experimental teams and Pat Cummins went to watch Coldplay. That doesn't happen if there's an actual something on the line. So, but anyway, I mean, for me, actually, I'm going to stick with my England pick. I think England could bring it. England or, well, India, obviously.
I think India's
the smart pick. Yeah. As long as they don't like choke it in the final or something again.
I can't see India losing, to be honest. I think they're one country that is going to be keen to win because they haven't won anything else. So they're going to be ready to go. It's in Pakistan, even though they're not playing in Pakistan, so they're going to be wanting to get one up there. I cannot see them. Look, I don't think
a massive loss there.
It is. I just think everything's in their favour.
I think South Africa is one you should also look for. They've got building a very solid team in all formats. Yeah. I wouldn't read much into this tri-series that's happening right now because most of their players are coming from the SA20 and they haven't arrived yet. But when they get their full lineup with Rabada and some of the new all-rounders like Bosch and everything, they'll be class and they've got some good talent.
It's good to see the tri-series back, actually.
I missed the VB series.
Yeah, they were good.
Because then you get not just Australia playing, you get the other two playing each other and stuff as well.
Yeah, I think the last one we had would have been... It'd have to be 10 years already.
Yeah, it was like maybe the Australia, Sri Lanka,
India. Yeah.
Those ones. And there was not many after that, I think. At least commercially it's harder now. I mean, you got matches without Australia, we not selling.
But and with all the T20 tournaments as well, it's hard logistically, I guess, to organise having two nations travelling. But
you don't see that even in other countries. You're not seeing this. Like, this is the first time I've seen a tri-series in a while.
Because it used to, even when we had it all the time in Australia, it wasn't no other country really did it either.
They used to have. They were having a bit more.
Yeah.
Sometimes with those sort of I think India would do some with Kenya and that kind of stuff as well. And there would be a few random ones. They used to have ones in Malaysia, with India, Australia, West Indies. That kind of random ones would pop up. But now I think it's harder to get everyone in the same place. But I mean, if you like your franchise cricket, there's cricket all the time, which is another thing. Yeah. Not that it really has that sort of longevity about it, but
it's harder to get into and get kind of passionate about, when the players that are playing aren't passionate about it either.
And half the franchises are Indian franchise. Can you be really excited about Mumbai Indians Cape Town winning the championship? I mean, that's a ridiculous sentence in itself. I support the Mumbai Indians Cape Town. I mean, come on.
I am excited though for the Major League Cricket. That's good. I'm a big
you watch? Yeah.
Big Orcas fan.
Okay. Mm-hmm. The pitches are rubbish though sometimes, aren't they? The new sometimes they're okay in MLC. Yeah. But those ones, I've watched some of those franchises when I feel when it's the UAE one, the American one, when you have those mix of domestic, like the UAE or US players, and then the international, it has a bit of a jarring kind of thing, because they want to give these guys a go. So you'll have a UAE or US player coming in number 3 or 4 or 5, when you've still got like Dre Ross and stuff to come, and then they'll sort of clog things up, and then it's all a bit weird sometimes. Still, I mean, US cricket or like India expat, Sri Lanka expat, like US cricket is coming.
The problem is there's just so many T20 franchise cricket going on that it just dilutes the product except for the IPL.
Yeah.
Everyone else is just because when it like first happened, like the Big Bash was one of the first kind of ones that got into it, like outside of obviously the IPL.
Yeah.
And when it first started, you had your big name internationals. We haven't had big name internationals in the Big Bash for years.
Yeah, the window is just very small.
And then obviously with the one in Dubai and South Africa basically running at the same time as the Big Bash, it dilutes the product so much. So, but there's nothing really fix it. There's cricket boards are greedy and everyone wants it because it's a quick cash grab. So you can't blame them for it, but it's I don't know.
I was there a few weeks ago in Sharjah. I watched an ILT 20 game between Sharjah Warriors and the Desert Vipers.
What a name.
Yeah, what a name. I don't exactly know where the Desert Vipers are from. They're like, even looking it up, I mean, there's no like actual region. Somewhere in the UAE they just represent. I mean, like, I'm a Desert Vipers fan or whatever. But like, it was quite
Camels are big fans of them.
Yeah. Got some big cricketers on either side, like Alex Hales and Zampa was there, Agar. Zampa probably was there, like he came almost on the same flight probably as me. Like he landed, I think, the day before and played. But you got all these big players and then a very small crowd, like maybe 1,000 max, mainly school kids. So it's a bit jarring. You're in the middle of Sharjah. All these like international cricketers have come. Yeah. You've got the PA system blaring like some music and like hyping up for not many people. So it just shows what cricket's.
What time do they play it over there?
That was a day game, but they play like night games as well. It's like a 3-hour time difference.
I wonder if they're trying to get like the Indian audience.
Yeah, they
like
probably will get
TV rights more so.
It seems to me like a very TV based thing.
Yeah.
UAE people don't really care much about cricket. There's not much hype around.
Yeah.
But just broadcast it. Get your broadcasting right. Get your ads. And that's how they do it. I mean, that's how the UAE and Saudi have been doing a lot of things. Really. I mean, it's not like Saudis has a huge interest in golf. Yeah. But they've got the Live Golf.
Yeah. So, well, that's it. Everything kind of taken off over there. Yeah. Like, they've got the money. So
yeah, it's basically just trying to build up things. But I mean, the problem with it is that because of that, you don't get your Big Bash players.
And it's disappointing because it's towards the end, like the finals time and all of that, and then you lose all your players and you kind of got great cricketers playing in the finals, and it's a bit.
It's not the same team that started the season.
It is quite jarring watching blokes that you never heard of that have been playing second grade all season. All of a sudden they're playing in the Big Bash final, and you're like, oh,
the quality was quite down, to be honest. With the Big Bash, it was fun. There was some good fun matches, but the quality, apart from Maxwell's hitting, some of the drop catches, some of the like bowling and batting, it was very low quality at times. Still fun, but not.
I did like how they had it shorter this year. In previous years where it's dragged on, but it's good length. But just hopefully they can kind of work around, I guess, the other leagues and try and have their own window, at least the end of it.
And be a bit more creative, I think, with the the draft and everything. They seem to just go for the comfortable county pick. English like level pick. When there's guys around the world who aren't probably playing in the IL20 who you can get. And then like
get Ricky.
Like even you see this one day series with Sri Lanka, there's some players there who could have done a good job in the Big Bash and been a bit more exciting. If you get a Sri Lankan player playing in Big Bash teams, you're instantly getting more of a crowd too. People will come for him rather than like a Paul Waller or whatever that dude's name.
I don't think Keaton Jennings is getting bums on seats.
You can't tell me you can't get like a different international player other than Keaton Jennings. I mean, come on.
Get Raheem. He brings the crowds.
Yeah, actually, I mean, Raheem as an opener would do better than.
I mean, from a marketing perspective, it's a genius thing to get him on board. But anyway,
he would play so hard to get the man of the match, KFC.
What do they get? They get like just a KFC zinger box or something. Don't they?
It's just like I think it's like a couple of vouchers or something.
Yeah.
It's like not even
it
free
looks
food.
they like just hold him like a.
It's like a 20% off or something. It's not even a free dinner. It's just redeem 20% off for your next. And meanwhile, other countries and other series.
I've got a KFC onesie that they gave me. I don't know what I had to do to win it, but I won it somehow, and they sent it through to me. And I might wear it on the podcast.
Yeah,
not when it's this fucking hot, but
you've won
in winter.
In
winter, I'll come on with my KFC. It's just like chicken pieces.
You should wear it to LMS.
Oh, I could do. Yeah. Might do, yeah.
If I'm batting in the keepers wearing like that, I'm
if it's a cold morning, it's like 9 o'clock game.
Puts everyone off.
I might do it. There you go. Something to look forward to.
Done.
Let's talk about footy. Footy's back. The trials are getting underway. A couple of games last week with the Vegas teams all playing. Your Sharkies.
Yeah. I didn't watch the game, but it was a draw.
Yeah.
Apparently they could have won, but then they didn't kick the goal.
I don't know.
They kicked the goal. And people were hating about it on the Facebook page. They're like, why wouldn't you just win the game and get 100? I think it was a 100K prize or something. And then they just went for the try when it was 12 or something like that. It was really weird. I think they're playing right now against Canberra. But it's hard to get it. Like hard for me to get behind these preseason games.
Yeah. I think the second week of trials is I kind of start getting around because then the teams are normally at full strength and you kind of see how new combinations work. No good for your Sharkies. It's 10-4. 10-4 to the Raiders. Yeah. Nico Hines scored a try though. Good on
nice.
him.
He's in form.
Yeah. Well, this is their second, obviously before they go to Vegas. So this is pretty much full strength, you'd imagine. Trindle, Hines, Fanua Blake. It'll be exciting to see how he goes. Yeah. I think he's that
adds a lot to the pack.
He's a big pickup for you guys.
It's a good side, but I mean, again, it's probably like last year, that side, which will probably be 4th, 5th, be around that top 4, but not premiership.
I don't know. I think Fanua Blake adds a whole lot.
Yeah.
Because you've kind of got a team in previous years of like that they were basically all bench forwards, really. Like they were impact forwards. They did get 40 minutes out of, but they didn't really play that big minutes. They weren't someone that you kind of led the team around.
True, you needed like a leader of the pack, which I mean, the great Paul Gallen, the greatest blokes to play, greatest men. Need that kind of guy.
Well liked.
Yeah, really,
can't think of a single person.
You need that really like stand
disliked.
up, like always playing in the spirit of the game. No grubby behavior. That kind of guy.
Yeah, someone to look up to for the kids to just idolize and be a real role model.
Yeah, you want a kid to be like, I want to be like Paul Gallen when I grow up.
Fuck, you'd disown them if your kid said that, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, he played for you guys, didn't he? Like as a junior.
Yeah.
You guys let him go.
Let him go.
Could have won a premiership.
No. No, we're stuck with Nathan Highmarsh. How good, eh?
Right, so Eels haven't started yet, right?
No. Tomorrow we got a game against Newcastle. It's our first one. So looking forward to that.
Did I get people into these crowds? Crowds come,
yeah, crowds come. Not many, but couple.
Yeah.
Couple people show up. Family.
Yeah, the family friend, like Sheffield Shield.
Yeah.
Like ILT 20 crowd.
They get in the members area.
Yeah. And so the season starts in 3 weeks, I think.
3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Vegas comes the week before, and then Mitch is going to Vegas, isn't he?
Is he?
I think so.
Is he?
I think he is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, if I went to Vegas, I'd come back broke. Come back without the shirt on my back.
Oh, well, if you got the right attitude.
Because knowing what I would do, I'd probably, first of all, probably put something on, lose my money on the Sharks, betting on the Sharks in Vegas.
And then double it up.
And then try and double it on the roulette.
Yes. Well, you win some, you lose more.
Yeah. I think when I was last on the pod, I said Carlos Alcaraz to win the Australian Open. Didn't happen. So I apologise. I just take this moment to apologise.
Have you got a bet of the week? I'll put you on the spot here, but
Chuck me England to win the Champions Trophy.
England win the Champions Trophy.
I haven't checked. I don't know what odds that would be.
I'd be paying a bit, I reckon.
I have a good feeling about
If you
this.
keep talking, I'll try and find out for you.
It's partly out of what I want to see. I want to see after all this like India bashing. I want to see them play India in the final and just go full baseball on them out of nowhere, chasing like 380 or something, and Butler goes off, and then India cry, and then I'd find that so funny, and everyone, all the Indian fans would be like, "Oh, we beat you guys 8-1," and then England will be just like, "Well, we won the one game that actually mattered." And I could see that, especially if Archer plays. I need to see what's happening with Archers.
They're paying $6.50.
Yeah, I mean, so,
India $2.63 favourites.
So I mean, the thing with looking at those,
Australia's the second favourite.
Australia shouldn't
I don't
be
know.
second favourite, given what's happened now. Pakistan might be decent value. South Africa, I don't mind. I think either England or South
Pakistan at
Africa.
home, I guess. But in saying that, if they make the final, it won't against India. It won't be at home. So,
Yeah. And Bangladesh are there.
Bangladesh are there.
I think their captain
$126.
Shanto, he came out in a quote today saying, we've come here to win the Champions Trophy. Well, what did you come for? Otherwise,
No, you don't come there to lose, do you?
It's good to have that. I think.
Well, he'll be setting his stopwatch.
Yeah,
He's been practicing that. So
the Bangladesh cricket president, I think they gave all the players, in the World Cup when they 2020 World Cup where they got to the quarterfinals or that super eight or whatever. For making that, they got like a car. Each got a car or something like check or something, and then everyone's laughing at these guys like celebrating like that. Yeah, I think Sri Lankan fans are a bit off Bangladesh for multiple of things. They carry on a lot for a team that has won nothing.
yeah.
So, yeah.
I reckon New Zealand, there's a bit of value there.
Every time they'll be up there, but I don't think they have that the quality to really get past the top sides anymore. They used to, but they're missing a gun player or two.
I just can't see India losing. They're $2.63. There's no value there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, depends how. I mean, if you're assuming they make the final, then you've got value. You've suddenly got a $2.60 finalist when they'll be like $1.20 or $1.30 in the final. But a lot can go wrong, and no Bumrah as well.
Yeah.
These other guys have to step up.
I think final. I think you could be right. India and England.
Yeah.
What's that paying? $8.50 for both of them to be finalists.
Yeah.
There's a bit of value there. Although it's $8 just for England to win, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. India Pakistan, that'd be a good game. $8.50.
I'll just chuck it on Parramatta to win.
Parramatta to win the comp. That's my bet of the week.
How much is that paying? Like,
Probably $100.
$100?
Can't imagine it would be.
Yeah.
Would be favourites. But this is our year.
It's got at some stage it will be.
It will be. If I keep saying it, it's gonna happen.
Year, so there's a chance. I think we've had this conversation before at some point. I think, but I mean, I don't understand why Parramatta didn't win the 2009 premiership. Like, why isn't that Parramatta's premiership?
Yeah.
Like, if Usain Bolt tomorrow gets done for doping, what's his name?
Came to second.
What's that dude's name? Gatlin.
Yeah.
Gatlin wins the
Gets gold.
gold.
Yeah.
They'll give it to him. And ironically, Gatlin, who doped a bit himself, will hold on to his gold. Why?
So does it go to third place?
Yeah, true. But Gatlin was clean at the time of that race, so he will get his gold. But why doesn't Parramatta get their premiership? Like,
Parramatta paying $41 as well for the winning comp.
I think what Parramatta fans should hope for is that forget about what's happening this season.
Yeah.
Just come together and demand the NRL give you your 09 premiership.
Yeah.
That's the easiest thing to do. Just get a premiership.
It's just not the same though. Like
It's not the same, but it's better.
like if they came out tomorrow, it's like you won the 2009 grand final. Like,
So what you should do, you
didn't really though.
come
It's
together as it's like when the Souths fans came together and said we need to be back in the comp. You do the same thing with the premiership. When they get given the premiership, then you have a whole parade and everything.
You need to have that moment though.
And
like
Jared Hayne is out of jail. He can
He's
now.
ready to go.
He's playing for the Magpies. now.
Yeah. Well, we signed it. He's playing for one of our reserve teams. So
he's a rough.
he could make his way back.
I don't know, with everything that's gone on, you can I think you guys would have a bit of a like sort of criminal background check to get into the rough rigs. But on the rough rig alone, he should be in the rough rigs.
He's been working hard.
He's rough, yeah.
He's been working hard.
Usually,
he's been putting in the time. He's put it in the effort.
But guys go to prison and lose weight, don't they? He must have been eating well in prison.
Good prison
He
food.
must have been treated quite well. He gets a seconds. He goes up to the saying, "I'm Jared Hayne. I need a."
Yeah. Well, I think he pretty much did. Like I remember, he wanted to watch the grand final. Or he wanted to watch one of the games.
Right? Yeah.
It was only on Fox, and he like told the guards, he's like, "Oh, I'm Jared Hayne. I want to watch on Fox." They're like, "No, you only get free to air on your TV. You're lucky you even got a TV." And he's like, "Oh, but it's on Fox."
Yeah.
Like, fucking too bad, mate. You're in jail.
Yeah. Well, getting a TV is one thing as well. Like, why is the guy getting a TV? So
he just wanted a KO subscription.
Yeah. So you get. Basically, so getting free TV, free food, free lodging. I mean, it's not looking like a bad situation, really. I mean,
and I don't think he had to share his cell with anyone. I think he was,
yeah, it's not quite a deterrent anymore, is it? It's just,
it's pretty roomy.
Yeah, but anyway, he's out in time for the to play for the Magpies.
Yeah.
If hypothetically,
if he like kills it,
scores like, does he? Can he?
Well, he can. Like it's technically Parramatta's feeder. System.
He'll have to get like signed off by the NRL.
Yeah.
But
so he'd have to like go into like the top, but like there's still spots in Parramatta's top 30 roster that he could technically fill in.
Yeah, he's so hard. He won't. I think they'll be too nervous about the league around. Plus, he's like 36 or something.
He's old and he's fat and he's.
But like hypothetically, it would be very interesting. It'd be very interesting if this was like 8 years. Yeah. If he was 8 years younger. Yeah. And still playing at a higher level, what would the NRL do? Because technically he's.
Well, I mean, he's found not guilty, right? So he's hasn't done anything
technically
wrong.
Yeah. But neither.
Although he was still guilty of the civil case.
Oh, I don't think there was a civil case. Was there?
In America, there was.
Oh, in America, yeah. But I mean, he played in Australia after that.
Yeah.
So they can't say that was an issue. Yeah. I mean. But saying that Todd Carney didn't get a criminal charge for kissing his own mouth, but I mean...
I still don't understand how
to me, that's still impressive.
Yeah. It's a good effort.
Yeah, I mean...
Like when you have people like Matt Lodge kind of...
Like terrorising people.
Yeah, terrorising, he's fine, but then you piss in your own mouth, that's it.
Yeah, too bad.
Never playing again.
Yeah. I wonder if they did like a slow-mo to make sure it just went in the mouth too before they
bit of ball tracking, you reckon?
Yeah, just like that's got him. He's gone.
Need the remember when they had the Fox Comet? Yeah, need one of them. Hawkeye.
Yeah. That's him. It's in. He's done. But I miss Todd Carney.
Yeah. He's a great player.
Yeah.
Great bloke.
Great bloke.
Another one of those role models that the Sharkies had, you know.
Kids out there, look up, be like Todd Carney.
Yeah. What a great culture the Sharkies had.
Yeah.
Just
Todd Carney. We had Ben Barber. Paul Gallen. Stephen Dank was around the place as well. Kids. Yeah, Stephen Dank.
Yeah.
One of the
great health experts.
If you study hard enough, you can supply peptides to your local footy team. So
good.
Yeah, a lot of good role models. Just
with the footy as well. Welsh, he's retired unfortunately due to concussions. Suffered a concussion at training. I think it was like his 8th in his career, and he's had to retire. So he's had a great career, Christian Welch.
Yeah. It's happening a bit more now. I mean, I think there's a lot more research into this. The like CTE, damage to the brain.
We've seen it in cricket with Pekoski.
Yeah,
he's retired. So
that's probably up there with one of my like saddest sort of things that's happened in cricket. I was there for when he scored his 50.
He would have gone down as one of our greatest openers of all time, I think. Like he's got so much talent, but
very odd in the way he was getting concussions as well. Like not even half of them were not even cricket.
Nah,
he was playing soccer, volleyball or something.
Yeah,
soccer. And
he was just like warming up with the team, and
hit by a soccer ball. Something. I think there was a mental health aspect as well.
Yeah,
I think it's like that sort of anxiety around it, which is fair. You've been like, it's hard to go into.
Well, every time you think there's going to be like a small kind of hit, not even like a by the ball. It could have been by anything. Like,
so you're going to be like worried about it. I think it's a good move for Christian. Well, she's how old? Is he 30 or something? 31,
he's didn't have long left anyway, but you know.
Yeah, like before this gets really a serious thing, which already, to be honest, when you've had that level of concussions, it will probably show up later in life. But that's the other thing. I mean, like, how far do we go with this? Because, I mean, concussions will be, especially now that people are looking into it a bit more. I wouldn't be surprised, like, we're in 300, 400 years, people will be like, like, you know how we look back at the gladiators or something and be like, oh wow, they were like fighting with like beasts and stuff. People are like, oh, I remember when people were like actually like playing this contact sport. It'll probably be all esports when things become more like
we look back at the old highlights. These people were knocked down and they stayed on the field. Like, I mean, even now, look back at like Sonny Bill versus Joel Clinton. That smash hit, like, that's never happening. That's a complete send off now, right? But back then you used to have packages of like shoulder charges. And well, that's it. They'd use that to promote the game, and you know, so
but
probably for the best though.
It's for the best. I think first step probably is, as it'll probably get some pushback from players, but I think we need to go headgear, everyone.
Yeah. The problem with headgear is it doesn't eliminate concussions. It's more for scratches and abrasions and all of that.
Some kind of padding at least. Like some help.
Because the headgear that they've got now it doesn't help because the contact is there and then the brain still moves around.
Yeah.
So unless like a type of headgear can be made to prevent concussions, but I know that there's been research done into it.
Yeah.
And the headgear that they've got now has no impact on concussions whatsoever.
Surely they can look into it and find. It's like when F1 put in the halo, all the drivers were like, this is like terrible, why are we doing this? And then it saved like 4 lives already. So if something similar could happen, even if the players are not for it, just be like, you know what, we're doing it. Are they doing the kickoff thing differently this year already? Or
there was talk about it, but then there was too much kind of negativity around it, and they haven't gone with it. So
I didn't mind that, to be honest. I mean, like, why are we getting needless concussions? It was starting to annoy me. Like, you sit down to watch a game of footy, off the kickoff, already two dudes are out of the game, and it's just like, well, why? Over what? It
is good to see in like the big games though, like your state of origin, your grand final, just seeing that first kickoff, seeing like, you know, the front rower just fucking running it as hard as he can.
But it was getting to a stage where every second game that someone's getting knocked out. Too many. I think it's just people are like watching, because obviously like the game, people are probably getting knocked out to this level in 1970, 1980.
I don't think it's happening more. I think it's just we're more aware.
If you're having any symptoms, okay, go.
Yeah. Because unless you were like knocked out cold, like the game didn't stop. Even it probably just still didn't stop.
People. Who's the guy who tried to pick Steve Price off the floor? I can't remember. Brett White or something.
But now, like, there's, you know, any kind of little wobble, the game gets stopped, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
But I think that just brings it to the attention more rather than actually occurring more than what it has. A little bit of talk about Reid Marnie as well from the Bulldogs. Apparently, they've got salary cap pressure. And they're looking at kind of getting rid of him.
Well, Bulldogs, they had salary cap pressure in 2002, and that didn't. They got around that. So
got experience.
So maybe that's the way. You just have to get a couple of envelopes
brown paper bags.
But I mean, it's always going to happen. The problem. This is the thing with the salary cap. It does punish teams like the Bulldogs who have taken off. Because you invest in these young guys and they're all suddenly good enough to be earning good money.
And then with managers as well these days, like they're going to keep getting pushed to earn as much as they can doing their jobs, but it just kind of creates, you know, there's no loyalty anymore. Which is disappointing, but again, look,
so you have to be careful, I guess, of who you do, and you'll end up having to let someone go. But you have to be careful of who. Reid Marnie, on paper, you might be like, okay, he's a bit older. He's a hooker you could probably replace, but I think he brings a lot to that team.
Where do you reckon he goes if he leaves?
Who needs a hooker?
Parramatta.
Yeah, Parramatta need a squad. But I mean, that could be a fit. I mean, he left for, who did he leave for? Robson. Oh no, who's the guy they brought in when he left? The Canberra dude, Hodgson.
Hodgson, yeah.
Hodgson.
Which was
and didn't he do his
disaster.
ACL, like
Did his-
Achilles? Yeah, like so.
did something in his like second game or something.
But
And
as a fan base, do you welcome him back, given that he left?
I would.
Yeah.
I would, just because we need a hooker.
Yeah.
And he's a good player.
Yeah.
He did good things at Parramatta, took us to a grand final.
Fans forgive pretty easily.
And well, that's it. If you're going to perform when you're going to help Parramatta to win, I think the fans will turn pretty quickly. I think the common thing at the moment, just reading through a few forums and that kind of thing on Facebook, people are still pretty upset because obviously he left for the money, which, you know, as he can, as he's, you know, got the right to do. So people were, you know, less willing to have him back. But I think, I don't know, we have really missed his service out of dummy half in particular, just giving that clean, crisp ball to the halves.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had that since he's gone. Brendan Hands has come in. He's done an okay job.
He's
Joey,
okay, but he's not going to be like a superstar.
Joey Lussick, he's getting old. He's kind of past it, I think. Doesn't quite have the fitness either.
You lost the great Jacob Arthur.
Yes. And Matt Arthur, both the Arthurs. And Brad. Lost the whole family. Whole family's gone.
Oh, sad.
Shout out to Brad Arthur.
Yeah. Sitting at home and chilling.
No, he's over in England now, coaching Super League.
Oh.
Yeah, he's over there.
Oh, nice.
Signed Sevo. Sevo's done his ACL, so that's a good start for him.
Of course he did. Didn't he drop Stevo?
Yeah.
Hey, bro. No hard feelings, but you're going to come. I kind of like caused you to lose your NRL career. But like, do you want to just come?
So, yeah. Anyway, that's that.
Yeah.
That's that.
Looking forward to the season. Should be a good season.
Should be. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I think the thing with... I think it's just sport in Australia. You obviously have your cricket season, your footy season, but there's enough of a break in between each season where like it gets you excited. They don't very often cross over.
Yeah.
Like you normally have a few weeks of just kind of nothing, and it gets you keen.
Yeah, it feels like ages since the last season. Like, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. Who have you got winning it? In all seriousness,
I think it's time for a change from the Panthers. Maybe like a Roosters, maybe.
Roosters.
No. Did they lose anyone? They lost.
Yeah, they've lost Kiri.
Yeah,
Walker's going to be gone for the first half of the season.
So, have Broncos signed anyone? Broncos signed a few.
Ben Hunt.
Yeah, nah. Yeah, maybe. I mean, Storm will always be up there. Souths could be like a dark horse.
I think South will have a good year under Wayne Bennett.
But I think
Latrell
it'll
looks
probably
fit.
take a year or two for them to like click. I'm trying to think of who who was the other top 4 team last year?
Sharkies.
Sharks, Roosters, Storm, and Panthers.
Yeah.
And I can't really see Sharks winning it. So who does that leave? Roosters or maybe. I mean, let's throw in Broncos. Let's go. For Broncos.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think they're half a chance. Broncos. I think under Madge could turn things around. There's a little bit of things that I'm hearing about the players not being happy with him, with his style. He's too aggressive.
No one's happy
too
with
much.
him. Yeah.
But I think it'll just take time. Once they start playing and they're getting results, I think then players will kind of feed into it and buy into it a bit more.
I think he's like that sort of Wayne Bennett toughness without being that.
But he doesn't have
back
that
of the
aura.
bus like the likable guy. It's just like, oh yeah, he's a tough dude and I hate the guy.
Yeah.
But Wayne Bennett's like a tough dude, but I love him.
Yeah.
So that's why
But he doesn't quite have that aura that Wayne Bennett has.
He's trying to be like
know?
Wayne Bennett, but like I think he seems like the guy who'd be like, I'll try and crack a joke now, but no one laughs. But we'll see what happens. He's had success before though.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, he's won a comp, so he knows what it takes, I guess. But be interesting to see how they go. I think the Sharkies will do really well. I think they could be challenging for a grand final. I think Fanua Blake's a really big in for him.
Yeah.
I think Panthers going to be hard to beat still. I really do. I think they're just looking at their squad, like they've got Papali'i.
Yeah.
he's in for him now. I think he's a big get. The only thing is obviously they lose Luai, but I don't think he adds that much.
The system is still strong. I think once you have that system,
I think the biggest loss with him is the culture and what he brings with his energy and almost away from the field. I think he's almost like that glue that holds the team together. I think he's just everyone loves him. It would seem from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
So I think taking that away, what impact does that have? I don't think it will impact in terms of what he does on the field. I think someone will come in and do pretty well as long as Cleary's there. But I just think in the dressing rooms and in training, not having that energy to really just keep that motivation going.
Yeah.
I think they might lack that. So that's the only thing they might struggle with, I think.
Yeah.
But if they can find that and they can, keep the energy high all year, and I think they've probably got the best team on paper still.
Cogger comes in.
No.
Yeah. He went to Newcastle. Yeah.
The one from Parramatta, Blaze Talungi.
Oh, yeah.
He comes in. He's going to be playing 5'8", I think. So be interested to see how he goes.
He was supposed to be your fullback.
He was supposed to be. Yeah. I'm still not happy. I still want Gutherson back, but anyway.
Oh, well, you can watch some St. George games.
This will be, anyway, this won't start on Gutherson, otherwise this will be like a 2.5 hour podcast. So anyway, that's it for me. Have you got anything else to add?
No, I mean, thanks for having me on the potty. I mean,
thanks for coming on.
A lot has happened since I was last on. Good to have you here. I thought you were dead last time. After you bet on what's the guy's called? JD Vance.
Yes.
To win the presidency. He spoiler alert, didn't.
He didn't. I was hoping for an assassination. Came close, but
Trump
no
is
cigar.
here and Trump is already rolling.
He is,
and who knows what will be happening with the world.
Well, he's trying to take over the world. I think it's a little bit Hitlery.
Yeah, if you say that, Kanye will probably come on the next pod.
Shout out to Kanye, who's just joined.
His ears just pricked up over there. I mean, he would tweet in favor, but he can't because his Twitter's banned. Anyway, I mean, we'll see.
He wants to take over Canada, Greenland, the Gaza.
Yeah, Australia. Who knows?
Well, he doesn't like Australia anymore. He doesn't like Kevin Rudd.
Yeah,
not a big fan.
He's not playing any
no
handball. Nah.
See, because Kevin Rudd's not happy with the tariffs that's imposed on our steel.
Just imagine that phone call. Hello, Donald, Mr. Trump. I mean, I'm just not happy with these tariffs. Who are you? Kevin. Kevin who?
Kevin 07.
You might have heard me from Kevin 07. Yeah, back in Australia. Where?
See, I think they should have a handball match, and whoever wins, gets their way.
Because that's the only way he's getting his way. Because I mean, he's not exactly a guy to be scared of. I think we need to get who's our most threatening politician?
Probably Pauline Hanson.
Pauline Hanson, yeah.
Get her over there. That'd be interesting.
For all her faults, she is very patriotic. And so is Trump. So maybe they will
might find a bit of common ground.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Heard it here first. Pauline Hanson, next Prime Minister.
Not Prime Minister. What is that? What's it? A senior foreign correspondent or something.
Yeah.
That role. Nothing to do with Australian politics. But we can keep her there. Keep her nicely tucked away there. Or Clive Palmer. Clive Palmer, Australia's version of Trump. Those two both could fit in a rough rigs.
Yeah, a couple of rough rigs there.
Yeah. All right, there you go. There you
go.
Clive Palmer for foreign correspondent.
Foreign minister.
Yeah, foreign minister. Palmer United.
Vote number 1.
Yeah. There we go. So by the time I'm next on the pod, we might see some interesting things happening in the world. Maybe Clive Palmer will be Prime Minister.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. All right, that's it. Thanks very much for coming. hopefully you're on again soon.
Yeah, we'll see.
Don't know what's going on with Mitch. Maybe he comes back. Maybe he doesn't.
Maybe he doesn't.
Maybe
yeah,
he doesn't.
we'll see.
So,
Like it over there so much, he stays up.
That's it.
In Brisbane.
That's it.
And supports the Broncos, who I have tipped for the premiership. So
well, Clive Palmer's up there, I think,
yeah,
isn't he?
he's
Maybe.
everywhere.
He's somewhere.
Yeah.
Pauline, she's up in
Oh
Queensland.
yeah, true.
There you
yeah.
go. They're
Maybe
all
it's
up
the
there.
place to be. Mitch, stay there. Okay.
Go and have a chat to him. See if you can get him on the podcast, Mitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be interesting to get Clive and Paul. Get them both in.
Yeah, I think
Four way interview.
Yeah, or even we just go do something else and watch these guys go.
Yeah, just let him go.
Yeah.
Get Trumpy on.
Yeah.
He can go in through.
He would
get the Zoom. Won't fly him across. but
Kanye probably not at this stage.
Yeah, probably
let him-
won't be.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably won't be able to post it if Kanye.
Yeah, leave him off the
comes
register
on.
for now, until he sort of. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll stay away from that one.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for listening. Give it a like and a subscribe and a comment, whatever else you want to do.
Yeah.
That'll be it.
Yeah. Cheers. Cheers,
See you
guys.
later.
All the best.
And just quietly, these Biscoff shakes are better than Hungry Jacks.
Yeah.
Just thank you.